Got a new Shimano 8100 chain, which would be a XT chain if you don't know what they are. So I like to wax my chains, and people have asked me how do I wax it. Well, there's a couple processes. First of all, you got to degrease it. You only have to do this on a new chain. Then I just rinse it in a mild Dawn dishwashing soap. Then I wash it off and then get the wet soap off of it. Then after that, I use mineral spirits to do a final clean on it. Where do you get degreaser? Well, there's a lot of places to get it. I know it looks like kind of a pain to do, but you know what? Plain old Gunk's a good brand degreaser. Fill it up and save this, and you can reuse it. So we'll go ahead and just do this here. And this will take all the, it comes in brown naturally, so don't worry about the color. And this will fill up this high-tech container for purposes of any bike mechanic should know is that pimento cheese is the perfect power food. It's also the perfect container for doing chains with. So if you're going to do wax your chain, you got to learn to eat pimento cheese. If you can't eat pimento cheese, then don't wax your chain. We'll put it in there for just a little while. We'll kind of move it around and shake it, things like that. We can put the lid on. It'll still leak a little bit, but if you're gonna do this right, put gloves on. You know, I'm not a glove person, sorry. Give it a little shake. Let it sit in there for a while. Let the degreaser kind of do its thing.
Casey's talking to us.
That's our bird. We have a big bird. And when it comes through, we'll get all that grease off. So let's continue to let it work for a little while. Okay. Hello, Casey. Okay, we're gonna just continue to work this a little bit here, kind of try to get it down in the joints inside of the links itself. The ideal is to get all of it off as much as possible. Probably sitting in here like 10 minutes would be a good idea or more, so we're gonna let it sit for a while. So I'll be back. So we're assuming that time's going by and we're flashing time by, and we'll be back in a minute, okay? So this is not gonna be real time, obviously. And we'll get this done. And yes, that'll dry up clear on the concrete. Oh, by the way, when you're doing this, I almost forgot. Don't forget, remember, master links have grease on them as well. So don't build an eye system and leave your master link. There's your master. Be sure to take your master link and degrease it as well so that the whole system is pure. This would be a good time to scrub down your chain cassette really well. And so I'll be careful with the degreaser because you don't want degreaser in your cassette. You don't take the grease out. I just use a mild soap, scrub it real lightly. I went over that cleaning it before on another video, but clean your cassettes, make them look new. Clean your front ring, make it look new. Then when you put this on, you're pretty much done. So the next time you have to wax your chain, after it's not a new chain, all you do is take your chain off, pour boiling water across it, the wax melts. Drop it back in the wax, which we'll go over a little while what the wax formula is. We'll drop it back into the waxing, pull it out, and put the chain back on, and you don't have to go through all this. This is only for a new chain, or if you're going from oil, a previous chain lube or oil of some type, to waxing. This is the process. You only have to do this once a chain. You're only gonna have to do this once a chain if you're staying on wax. This is only going to wax when you have to do this. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna just irritate, make this chain move it around a little bit more. Okay, there's actually several different kinds of waxes, and people don't understand that there are several kinds. But the wax with the best value for lubricant is actually, believe it, there's several different kinds of paraffin wax. The brand doesn't matter, but you want a paraffin wax. Most of the waxes come like this in little beads, and there's I use a crock pot, just a small crock pot. I wish I had a smaller one. I just didn't want to go buy one. We have several crock pots from inheritance over the years. This is the smallest one I have. If you have one of those little bitty 1 mil crock pots, even better. So I don't know, that's about half a bag of wax. So that wax will be in there. Now here's where people make mistakes. They want to get this wax melted, so they turn the crock pot on high to melt it. So no, you actually want to melt the wax really slowly and keep the wax at the absolute minimum temperature you can for it to melt. Okay, you can add You can add additives to your wax to make it go longer. PFTE is a real nice one that you can add to it. It comes in a powder form. I think about 1 to 20 ratio is about right on that. It is actually Teflon. You can put that in your wax. But if you do, you'll expect your chain to have the PFTE will look kind of white, and it will fill in little cracks in your chain, so you'll start getting a white chain, but that's okay. It's a good lubricant. I'm gonna add a little graphite, plain old graphite to mine. And graphite's also a great lubricant. It will leave a little bit of residue behind, but that residue you're leaving behind is kind of what you want. It's lubricant. So, or you can run just straight beads. So this will take quite some time to melt. And after it does, we'll go ahead and start working a little bit of graphite at a time in. It won't be enough to discolor it, but it'll start working in. This will probably take 20 minutes to an hour to melt this wax. So here, we'll set the camera up on a tripod here. And for the next hour, y'all can watch the wax melt. We'll be back in a minute. Thank you. Hey, it's Gazer again. It's been about an hour and a half. And we mostly have wax. What I do on mine, I put just a shot of graphite in there. The graphite does settle to the bottom, and it settles pretty rapidly to the bottom. But if you do stir it up, you'll get a little of the graphite in the chain itself. So, I'm sorry, you can get a little of the graphite in the chain. I got choked, dang it. Anyway, put the chain in the hair. It's mostly melted. There's a little few chunks in there. And we'll kind of give it a swirly. Gotta get part of that graphite floating around a little bit. And we'll let that set for about 30 minutes. And then we'll give it another swirl. You can see the graphite kind of floating around. A little bit of that graphite will get in the chain, not much, but it only takes a couple of squeezes of this. A little bit of graphite goes a very, very long way. And it's not enough to make your chain black or anything. It's just, it'll barely get in there, it will settle out. So we'll do that real quick. We'll do it again. It took about an hour to hour and a half for the wax to melt, so it's very slow. And just a second, we'll get you that temperature of the wax. Let it come up to temperature. On my crock pot, it's medium low, it's just past warm. Okay, that's about 120 degrees is what the wax is. Just good and melted. And it does very rapidly, see, set. Very rapidly, about 120 degrees. It's not real hot. Gazer, we're back. The adventure continues. Let me show you how exciting this is. We've got the chain and the wax still. Hour later, maybe 2. We got a little graphite that settled to the bottom, and it does settle really rapidly. So we're gonna, that's why I'll put the chain on the oil. And like I did, we're gonna get that graphite floating around the wax. And some of it will settle into the chain, some of it won't. That's okay. The graphite's just a kind of a little extra bonus. You'll get next to none of it actually in the chain, but a little bit helps. Every little bit helps, because graphite goes on. If you ever mess with this stuff, goes forever. So we'll get a little of it down in the links before long. So we'll do this, give it a little twist, and we'll do this again every hour or so while we're watching and relaxing tonight. Then, yeah. Then we'll put it together. So, exciting times. Gazer, so enjoy. And you're done. So this process, this half a bag of wax that I used, I think it was $10 for that bag. So that $5 with the wax will probably last me my lifetime plus some. It goes real far. There's very little that sticks on the chain. So anyway, be blessed, have a good one, and I'll give you a report how many miles I get before I wax it again.